Hello. If you want to get a very clear understanding of what priority date means, final action date, and date for filing, then this might be the right video for you. Are you on the journey to becoming a permanent resident in the United States and curious about what comes after your petition is filed or approved? If so, I have got some essential insights for you. Whether your petition is employment-based, covering categories 1 to 5, which includes priority workers, members of the professions holding advanced degrees, or persons of exceptional ability, skilled workers, professionals, and other workers, certain special immigrants, employment creation, or perhaps yours is under the family-sponsored categories. There is a crucial step that often involves a bit of a wait, which I call the wait time. And that involves submitting Form I-485. Now, this form is your ticket to registering for permanent residence. Yes, that's your green card or adjusting your status if you are already in the United States. But here is the catch. Each of the categories I listed earlier has a limited number of visas available each year. And what does this really mean? And this is what this video is all about. I implore you to watch it till the very end. Now, when your employer files, for example, EB-2 on your behalf, or when you self-petition, in this case, EB-2 NIW, the National Interest Waiver, and you get approved, it establishes a priority date, which is peculiar to you. So you would expect to receive a notice of action, which is Form I-797. On this form, you have your receipt number, you have the received date when USCIS receive your petition package. It will also have the notice date. That is the date they have made a decision on your petition. And you have the priority date. All these dates, you will find them in the notice of action that will be mailed to you, say if your case is approved. Now, this priority date will be the same as the date your application was received by the USCIS office. For example, if your case was received, your petition, was received on, say, December 23, 2023, and say you got a notice of action or say approval date January 5, 2023. Your priority date will still be that December 23, 2023. Okay, so now that you have your priority date, what happens? Now, it's the date that marks your place in line for obtaining a green card or permanent residency. I say you are in line, it's as if you are on the queue. Imagine going to the restaurant and they are attending to many people on the queue and you have to wait, you have to join the queue. See it that way. Now, the priority date determines when you can progress through the remaining stages of the application process, such as applying for an immigrant visa if you are outside the US, or adjusting your status to permanent residency if you are present in the US. Again, this priority date is very significant because it determines when you, the petitioner or beneficiary, can move forward with the rest of the green card application process. In particular, it's essential for tracking your progress in the visa bulletin with your priority dates, which again, I'm going to explain in this video. Now, the visa bulletin itself is a monthly publication by the US government that outlines the availability of green cards based on various categories, EB1 to EB5, for example, and your country of birth. Now, this bulletin contains two key charts, referred to as the final action date chart and the date for filing chart. Now, I'm going to explain this too. Before I go into that, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? If you haven't, this video has been blessing you. You've been having many insights from this video. You've been able to file your petition by yourself. The least you can do is to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It doesn't bite. It doesn't take anything away from you. Supports my sacrifice, so to say. All right, final action date chart. Now, the final action date chart shows the dates when visas may finally be issued. It comprises of date listings. Now, this chart lists specific dates for different visa categories and countries. And these dates are referred to as the final action dates. On the table, each row represents a different category or country. Now, to have a better understanding, if you so desire, of what I'm saying, click on the link in the description section. It will take you to the official USCIS, I beg your pardon, USCIS website that always lists this visa bulletin on monthly basis. Now, you will see places where it's written oversubscribed. And what does that mean? When a date is listed for a particular category or country, it simply means that the demand for visas in that category has exceeded the available supply for that month. In other words, there are more applicants with approved petitions. For example, you filed from I-140 and you have been approved. So we have more applicants with approved petitions and eligible priority dates than there are visas available. That's the cause for oversubscribed. And on the table again, in cases where you see letter C, C for current. Now, if you see that listed for a particular category or country, it simply means that there are no numerical limitations for visa issuance in that category for the given month. So current means you can proceed, you are qualified. You know, all qualified applicants, regardless of their priority date, can proceed with their visa if it's written current. And for example, as of the released January visa bulletin, for those in the EB1 category, all countries except China and India is listed current. So that means such people in that category, once you've gotten your approval from I-140, you can proceed to adjust your status or apply for your immigrant visa. Now, let's go to date for filing chart. Now, the date for filing chart shows the earliest dates when applicants can apply or file for their visa application. Recall again that you have already submitted from I-140 and it has been approved. Then you have a priority date, right? Now, how does that connect with dates of filing or date for filing? Now, it's a way to let the applicant know when they can begin preparing and submitting their applications for adjustment of status. Again, refers to as Form I-1485. Now, if your priority date that is on your approval notice Form I-797 sent to you, if that date is earlier than the application date listed in the chart, you will most likely receive notification from the U.S. Department of State's National Visa Center refers to as NVC. Now, this notification will contain detailed instructions on what you need to do next. So the waiting in line is simply this. Once you have a priority date, you essentially wait in line for the next move. Your place in line depends on your priority date compared to the date listed in the visa bulletin. So when your priority date becomes current, that is, it matches or is earlier than the date in the visa bulletin, then you can proceed with the final stages of your green card application, again, which is the form I-485 adjustment of status. And note, there is no way to expedite this at all. You can't fast track it, unfortunately. Okay, it's determined by when the labor certification is filed, your form I-140 self-petition, or by your employer, and it's subject to demand and visa availability. So in summary, the priority date is a key factor in the employment-based green card process, and the visa bulletin is a monthly resource that helps the approved applicants to track when their priority dates become eligible for further action. And you know, retrogression can lead to longer waits, and there is no way, again, to accelerate this process. My advice is you should regularly check the visa bulletin. The link is in the description of this video to see if your priority date has become current for your specific immigration category and country of birth. And the bulletin is typically updated monthly. For example, I'm shooting this video December 2023, and as of now, the visa bulletin for the next month, which is January 2024, has been released. So it's always done that way. When we get to January, sometime in January, the visa bulletin for February will be released. So you can always track this on a monthly basis to check the final action dates for your category or the filing date for your category. Just a very quick example. If you are in the website right now, let's look at the table, the final action date and the filing date for the EB2 category, for example. So if you go to the role where you have employment-based second, you will see under the final action date, you see 1st of November 2022, written as 01 NOV 22. Now, this is for all countries, right? Except you have another colon for China, mainland born, Indian, Mexico, and Philippines. So if your country is not any of these four, China, India, Mexico, Philippines, then you belong to all chargeability areas, right? So that means your final action date is 1st November 2022. If you scroll down on that same website, you will see date for filing. Again, for the second preference category role, you will see all chargeability areas except those listed. It shows 15 February 2023. Then you have the column for China, India, Mexico, and Philippines with their own respective dates as well. So what does this mean? So you've checked this, you want to understand what it means. So let me quickly put you through that as we round up this video. Now, that date for filing simply means this. If you have submitted your I-140 on or before February 15, 2023, then you fall into the category eligible to file the I-485, which is the adjustment of status form, based on the date for filing that is released, right? Now, these dates indicate when you can initially submit your I-1485 application, as said earlier. Now, for the final action date, if you have submitted your Form I-140 before November 1st, 2022, then that means you are eligible to receive your green card soon as per the final action date. Now, these dates reflect when the USCIS is currently processing green cards, since the visa number is available for them. And it's the point at which the USCIS makes a final decision on your green card application. Two more things to tell you about. Processing variability. Now, take note of this. Although the final action date is a guidance for when your green card might arrive, USCIS has the discretion to issue green cards before this date. Now, this variability means you could even receive your green card earlier than the final action date. And for the USCIS decisions on this chart usage, please take note that USCIS sometimes decide that all intending I-485 applicants should use the final action date chart instead of the date for filing chart. So you want to also make sure which one applies to you when your date becomes current. So currently, for those whose date is current and you are looking at for January 2024, based on that, the visa bulletin released, you are to use the filing dates. And again, that is it. I do hope that you have a good understanding of that. If you are still battling with some aspects, still pause the video, rewind, rewatch, re-listening, and that is it. I wish you all the best as you move to the next stage of your green card pursuit. All the best. Please subscribe to my channel and follow us on Instagram, visit our website, reach out to us. All our details are there, available in the description section as well. Thank you. Stay blessed and bye-bye.